All right, welcome to the People's Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm Doug By here again with Mike Rossi, Andrew Garganese, and G Money. How you boys doing?
What's
Pretty
up, Doug?
Doing good, Doug. How you doing, buddy?
Not too bad, doing well. So we got a packed show again tonight. We got our champs and chumps of the week. We got Panic Meter. We got Joe's Beef of the week. Got Buy Low, Sell High. We're going to be talking about all of our waivers. And so let's get started just talking a little bit about tonight's game. You guys have much riding on tonight's game? Mike, I know you have McCaffrey in my league. Are you out of it yet, or?
Yeah, I have McCaffrey, and technically I'm not out of it, but I pretty much am. I need McCaffrey to outscore Jordan Addison by 20 points. So it's possible, but probably not.
Yeah, do you think he's going to be a full go tonight? Yeah, that's what
No,
I
mean, I think he's still going to get the majority of the carries, but Jordan Mason and Elijah Mitchell are both pretty good where they can step in.
Yeah, I was a little surprised that he was like, yeah, I'm starting. So
Yeah, I just think too, if they get a big early lead, you'll see a lot of Mitchell in the second half. So I don't see him doing a ton tonight.
So I'm saying that because I'm hoping he doesn't do a ton tonight because I think I'm against him in 2 leagues and it matters. Andy, what do you got going on tonight?
I got a couple IU shares, which I'm happy about because he's good. Vikings D
Debo's
isn't,
out.
so and Debo's out. Yeah.
Doug, I'm actually going against your wife in the Superflex League, and I need Ayuk to get 21 in a PPR. So possible.
She was telling me earlier, she's like, I think I'm going to beat him tonight. But
yeah,
she's already talking
I like
shit.
that she said that. No? I like that.
And she listened to all of our podcasts, by the way. So
yeah, she called me out at the Halloween party about starting Trevor Lawrence.
She did.
She's like, I
totally
listened
did.
to that, and you said you were sitting him in every one of your leagues. I was like, no. I said I was starting Jordan Love over him in a particular league.
Wrong move, still though.
Well, it was, yeah, by 2 points. That's all right.
Joe, do you have anything riding tonight?
Nah, I got KJ Osborne in one league, but I'm up by 40 in that league, so I got nothing to worry about. He's only got Cole Kmet.
Yeah, you're fine. You're good. With Cole Kmet.
I mean, not Cole Kmet. God, I do this every fucking episode.
I say, yeah, you're definitely good. He's only got Cole Kmet.
Yeah, so he already goosed you.
Oh no, Cole Kmet just got nothing. So yeah, the guy's got nobody left.
That's what it is. Yep.
I just saw.
Oh, you just saw zero.
That happens. Yeah. I've done that.
Yeah.
It's just reading off the screen. That
I'm Ron Burgundy.
yeah, exactly.
Might have gotten ready for this episode in a panic.
All right. Let's do it. Let's do our champs and chumps of the week just to review the week a little bit. Mike, who do you have as champs and chumps?
I got a couple champs. They're both on Philly. AJ Brown.
Good. Not mine.
Okay. Travis Kelce. No, I read yours this week, Joe. But AJ Brown, 5 straight games of 125 plus yards. He's only the second receiver to do that besides Megatron. Pretty impressive. And then Philly D. They showed up against Miami's defense. They held Tua to quarterback 21, Mostert running back 31, Waddle wide receiver 29. Tyreek got his. I'm okay with that. Stopping 3 out of 4 of this offense. I'll take it.
Yeah, it wasn't even like a monster Tyreek game because I was against him in my league, actually, I believe. And I have a scrub team in of second stringers this week because my entire team was on a bye. And I might squeak one out tonight.
He's still the wide receiver 3 on the week, which is insane that he didn't do anything crazy and he's still just better than everybody.
Yeah, I mean, Tua targets him every single play. You know, like he looks his way.
And Waddle got hurt too.
Yeah, yeah. Andy, who do you got?
Champs. It was good to see Jahmyr Gibbs finally get. I mean, I think he only had 8 carries, but he had like 10 targets. Which, I mean, no David Montgomery. I figured his runs would be up a little bit, but he still got his. He looked good. He looked like, he should get the ball more. And then Christian Kirk, even when he's not the target monster, he seems to do everything with his targets. So love to see that. And then I don't want to call him chumps, but my letdowns of the week, Bijan, which I don't even know what happened in that situation.
Migraines, I think.
He got headaches. Yeah.
He's giving me a fucking headache. And Eckler, I don't know. Eckler they both just kind of just didn't show up. So
The thing is, the chump shouldn't be Bijan. It should be Arthur Smith. Because why the hell is he active? Just if you're not gonna play him, just make him inactive and have it Algier and Cordell Patterson. It makes no sense to activate him and play him if he has migraines.
I think he was still
Yeah,
hoping. That's all.
They said something though, like the NFL is looking into the injury thing with them and him not being listed. So they got some shit going on now.
Good.
Yeah, I think Bijan said it happened the night before the game, and he was getting like weird headaches and migraines or whatever, and then it never went away. I guess I don't know. But Joe, who do you got?
So champs, we got Travis Kelce, and if you watch football, you know what he's done the last 2 weeks, so I don't need to talk about it really. And then Alvin Kamara, man, I don't even care what he did rushing. 12 catches, 91 yards receiving. I mean, that alone puts him in a great place.
Yeah.
Then Chumps, 2 weeks in a row, I bet on this guy to get over his receiving yards, and he's let me down both weeks. Sorry, Andy, but Gabe Davis fucking sucks the last 2 weeks. He went 1 for 6 yesterday against 1 catch for 6 yards against the Patriots yesterday. And then 3 catches for 20 yards the week before that. So I don't know what the fuck Gabe Davis is doing, but he's not playing football and running routes right now.
Well, this is what he was last year. I mean, I think he's a little better this year, but it's what he was last year too. He's had 3 really good games and 4 stinkers so far. It's what he is. I don't know. Andy, you got anything to say about him?
He's not. Yeah,
he doesn't want to talk about it.
He doesn't want to talk about it.
Bills.
All right.
He's
All
not
right.
talking Bills.
We'll stay off the Bills with that. We want Andy to stay on the show the entire episode. A couple of things. Deontay Foreman. I can't believe nobody mentioned him.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he had 3 touchdowns yesterday. That was surprise. That was also he caught a touchdown, which he never catches the ball.
What happens when you play with a franchise quarterback, huh?
Yeah. Bajent, right? Is it Bajent?
We'll figure it out at some point. But
It's not Tyler though. We know that.
we crossed that off.
Couple other guys. Lamar Jackson, the #1 scoring quarterback of the week. He had a monster game. Jonathan Taylor, I think that might have been his coming out party, right? He had 75 yards rushing, touchdown. Yeah, I think he had like over 40 yards receiving. Big game. So those are my chumps. Calvin Ridley. I mean, how can he not be a chump? You know, what was it? One catch for 5 yards. Is that what he had?
It was awful.
I don't.
We all just saw his preseason routes and were like just drooling over what this guy could do, and he hasn't done shit since what, week 1 or week 2. He looked good, and then all of a sudden did nothing.
Is that Lawrence? Is it him? Like,
I mean, Christian Kirk is still getting it, right? So it's not just. I mean, Lawrence isn't performing to what we thought he would, but it can't be just him.
He's getting shut down by the elite corners right now, is what's happening.
maybe.
He is. I mean, I think it was Lattimore last week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So that's what's been happening. Keontae Ingram. What the hell happened with that?
DeMarcado all of a sudden is the guy again.
Yeah. Yeah. And I believe, Rossi, did you look it up? I thought you dropped him last week. Not sure if you did or not in my league.
I mean, when you look at your champs of the week, I just traded Lamar, I just traded JT, and I dropped DeMarcado because so obviously they all went off. Yeah, I do not have him on my team, so yeah. I dropped him.
All right, so that's a waiver pickup in my league this week.
Yeah.
I would say at least for the next 2 weeks that he's still going to be the starter. Yeah,
2 more. Yeah.
Minimum.
And then the last thing is the Dolphins' offense. I mean, you talked about it with the Eagles. Their offense, they just didn't really do too much last night. So
yeah, but like I think it was either Andy or Joe said they ran into a buzzsaw. What are you gonna do? You know,
Definitely wasn't me. I did not say that.
I will say right now at this point, it does look like the Eagles and Chiefs are the 2 best teams in the NFL. Right now. Right now, it does look.
Don't forget about the Niners.
A lot can change, but right now it looks that way. Niners, if they're all healthy, love the Niners. But right now it's looking that way. All right, boys, you ready for the panic meter?
Ooh,
do it.
And jump into it. All right, so first name on that is a guy we talked about already a little bit, and that is Austin Eckler. He really, he hasn't been doing too much since he was hurt for 4 games, and And then he hasn't been himself yet. All right. Mike's got pie again. Andy's 1. Joe's 4. I'm 2. So none of us are overly concerned. But Joe, go ahead and talk about your 4. Because you were big on Eckler to start the year. He was the number 1 running back of last year. So
yeah. I mean, I was huge on Eckler. I thought Eckler was gonna have more touchdowns than anybody this year, and he just hasn't done anything. I don't know if they're just changing the way this offense is going. There's nothing I've liked about this offense as of lately. And he doesn't look like he's got that explosiveness. I don't know if the injury's still lingering with him. But he doesn't look himself out there right now. I'm not overly concerned because I do believe that the talent is there, and I think this offense is explosive overall. So I think they're going to figure it out. But I'm as an owner, that's probably why I'm a little bit more nervous than you guys, because I have the equity in it.
That's true. Go ahead, Mike. What were you going to say?
No, nothing Eckler related. I just wanted to tell Andy that this whole time I've been holding up the 3 with the numbers. Doug never knew this was pie.
I never
He never put it together
enough. I think we already touched. Yeah, that's what it is, man. I think we touched on that last episode. I don't know why you had to bring.
I know, but
again,
Andy wasn't here, so I just wanted to tell him.
Oh, okay.
He just wants to bring it up.
Yeah.
That's it.
Every episode, every time he does it. Oh, by the way,
Okay. Hey, did you know Doug's dumb?
Yeah. What an idiot he is.
Stupid.
Let's go. Let's go to the next guy. Let's go Justin Herbert. This past week, 259 yards, touchdown, 2 interceptions. He just hasn't. It's not that he's been awful. He just hasn't been what we all thought he was going to be. So right now, I'm a 4 on him. Joe's a 1. Mike's a 2. Andy's a 3.
Clean 3 this time.
I was going to say first try.
Good looking 3.
First try.
All right, go ahead. Talk about your 3 then, Andy.
I mean, I think he's still like top 5 quarterback on the year, right? Like he's fine. I don't know what anybody was really expecting. They do need somebody else to emerge besides Keenan Allen. That's going to make his life a little bit easier. Since Mike Williams went down, I think the production's gone down a little bit. And then it's easier for defenses to just try to stop, the one guy in Keenan than it is you got somebody else out there. So I think Josh Palmer had a pretty decent game yesterday.
He did. He had a monster game, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, if he can be that guy and Eckler can come back and give you the receiving threat, I don't see there's any reason to panic. He's still in a high-powered offense that likes to throw with a lot of skill around him. And
that's why, that's why I'm not overly panicked, because I think Eckler will come on more. But I'm curious, Joe, because you were panicked about Eckler, but you're not at all about Herbert. What's the reason?
I mean, like Andy said, I'm pretty sure he's still a top 5 quarterback. If you drafted him, if he's 5, you drafted him. I mean, he was either that 5 to 7 range. So, I mean, he's right where he should be. So that's why I'm a 1. He's doing exactly what we all thought he was going to at this point. Maybe a couple of the games weren't as big as we would like. But overall, where he is where he should be. And I just don't see this offense slowing down. If anything, they need to pick it up and get better because the defense isn't doing what they should be doing.
True. I think it also goes back to kind of what we've been talking about too. I think it's been a little bit of a down year for quarterbacks. I don't know if it's showing that stat wise, but it feels that way to me, at least.
It is. I actually have it. The top quarterback, it's still Josh Allen, 22.3 per game. I think last year it was like 24.5. So they're down a full 2 points for the number 1 from last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think people were I think everybody was a little hyped up on Quentin Johnson, and it's taken him time to adjust to the NFL speed and everything. Give him a couple more games, let Palmer get some more time in the 2 spot, and Everett came into the offense a little bit last night. I think we're going to see them bounce back.
And he's playing the Bears this week.
Yeah.
This is the week to do it.
This is the bounce
matchup of elite quarterbacks.
Him and Bajan.
I keep forgetting who you're talking about every time you bring that up too.
I'm gonna make this happen.
How long is Fields going to be out for? They saying
the rest of his career.
Oh, okay.
He
took the job. Kid took the
No,
job.
I think I think he actually might be back this week.
We already talked about him a little bit too, but I want to know how panicked you guys are about him. Calvin Ridley.
Oh,
Again, on Thursday night, he had 4 targets, 1 reception for 5 yards is what he did. And going back to what you said, Mike, I think the only like good game has been week 1. So I'm a 6, Joe's a 6, Andy's a 6, and Mike had to be different with a 7. I think he saw the 6s and he's like, I got to talk, guys.
I had it up before you, Doug.
He's been dying to talk, Doug.
Yep.
You don't say his name.
Seriously, this is the 3rd guy I haven't been picked on yet. What the fuck is going on?
All right, go, Mike.
It was nice.
I mean, I already talked about it a little bit. It's everyone hyped him up so much that he was somebody that originally was supposed to be picked in like the 4th, 5th round, and all the hype on those routes made him go in like the 3rd round. So you have a lot invested in this guy, and he's just not performing. And the person that we were saying is Zay Jones going to start over Christian Kirk? It's not happening. Christian Kirk is still the number 1 on this team. And if anything, Travis Etienne is the most valuable asset on this offense, and Ridley just isn't a part of it right now. So yeah, I'm a little nervous.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think we all agree. That's our numbers show it. You guys have anything else?
I could have been more disappointed after trading for the guy. He only got 1 catch. So
that's right.
Devontae Adams didn't do much. Devontae Adams didn't do much either. So
no,
what was that
touchdown pass he dropped? That was a bunny. He had a bunny fade route in the corner of the end zone and just went right off his hands like he had stone hands.
Yikes.
What was that trade you made exactly? It was
Ridley and Deontay Johnson for Devontae Adams.
Okay. Yeah.
And I actually offered him Kincaid in the deal, and he said he would have had to drop Kincaid, so he just changed it back. I ended up not dropping Kincaid and dropping Rondell Moore, and I'm glad that happened because Kincaid had
what a nice guy.
He texted me.
He's too nice.
Matt texted me yesterday and was like, "Oh, I'm a fucking idiot for not taking Kincaid."
Dawson Knox just got a surgery on his wrist too.
Oh, did he?
So,
I didn't know that.
Stock
up.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, next guy, Amari Cooper. Yesterday, he had 8 targets, 2 receptions for 22 yards. Deshaun Watson left the game with concussion, but I think he passed concussion protocol already. I think he's going to be back next week. But anyways, where you guys at on him? So I'm a 6. Mike's a 5. Andy's a 5. Joe's an 8. I definitely want to hear from you, Joe, because you and Andy were big Amari Cooper guys coming into the year.
Still love Amari Cooper. Love the talent. Best high point guy on the ball in the league. Quarterback issue is the panic here. Is Deshaun Watson. I don't know where Houston Deshaun Watson is. I'd love to know where he is. I don't know if he needs a massage. I don't know what the situation is, but we need something from Deshaun Watson because he's looked awful. And then if he's not playing, PJ Walker, this isn't the XFL, this is the NFL. And I don't believe in the kid. So I think they're going to, obviously we saw Ford run the ball well yesterday. I think they're going to just try to run the ball more. I think this is going to be a very old school offense, very quick with just good defense and running the ball, time of possession, wear the other team out. And I'm worried Cooper's not going to get his share.
Yeah, I definitely feel that way as well. Andy, you were definitely, like I said, high on him coming in. You were 6. You feel the same way?
Yeah, it's a quarterback thing. I mean, he got 8 targets, but what's the point of a target if it's nowhere fucking near you, right? So they're trying to get him the ball. They just physically can't. So, I mean, it is what it is. They're just worse than I anticipated offensively. And he's always been a boomer bust guy to begin with. So, like, I'm still he'll have, like, a monster game coming up soon, and then we won't hear from him for a couple of weeks. But it's definitely worse than anticipated.
Yeah, he's one of those
Andy,
guys too. Go ahead, Mike.
That Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore, it's pretty damn close right now. You got Amari has 47, Elijah has 43. So that's one to keep an eye on for the rest of the year. Elijah hasn't done anything with his targets yet, where Amari has. I'm so glad I make a pure stats bet. It's just targets.
Nothing.
I'm not taking the win on calling him a league winner by any means.
That's the other thing with Amari Cooper, though, right? He's one of those guys for his career. He's been bad on the road, right? It's a weird
Is it
stat.
on the road?
It's an on the road thing. He hasn't been good. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Him and Jared Goff is the same way.
Yeah. All right, next guy. Andy, you might want to step aside for this one. I think you know what's coming here. We're gonna talk a little Gabe Davis. 5 targets, 1 reception for 6 yards against the Patriots yesterday. Andy might is he gonna log off? Oh, he's still all right.
Oh man.
Okay.
It's not upside down either.
And Joe's really just rubbing it in right now. I'm a 5. Joe's a 9. Mike's a 7, and Andy is a fuck you, Duck.
I can't wait to put the panic meter up on Instagram and just have all the levels. Then fuck you, Doug, is one of the levels with Gabe Davis just sitting there.
I like it. What level is that going to be in?
Oh, that's the highest of levels. For sure.
Levels.
Yeah.
That's got its own new tier.
All right, Joe. You seem like you want to rub it in, so you put up a 9. Let's hear it.
I mean, I talked about it already. He was my chump of the week. He's fucking sucked the past 2 weeks. He's lost me money the past 2 weeks, so that's got a part in it as well. But I mean, the kid usually catches deep balls down the field, usually stretches out the defenses for these guys. And I mean, I don't know if he was just a decoy yesterday and the week before, but I thought these were 2 matchups against weak pass defenses. So you can't do it against weak pass defenses. When are you going to do it?
Well, you, myself, and Mike all had him in DK lineups this week.
Yeah.
Yep. And
it was a sweet
I thought
matchup,
it was
especially
logical
for the price.
I thought it was a very logical thing to do because Patriots love to take away the number 1 target, which would be Steph Diggs. And I thought Gabe Davis was going to come away with something. I didn't know that Gabe has actually had a really bad career against the Patriots, so he's never actually done anything against them. I don't know if there's much to that or not, but Andy, do you want to talk about it at all or no? No. All right. My only pushback on that, Joe, is the reason I'm only a 5. You kind of knew what you were getting coming into it. Like when you drafted Gabe Davis, we all drafted him way later than we did last year because of the year he had last year. And he's just been a boomer bust guy. That's what he has been his entire career.
So I don't disagree that he's a boomer bust guy. But if you're not booming against bad pass defenses and you are a guy with good size and you're not scoring touchdowns at all and getting targets near the touchdown, what good are you?
I don't think we can predict it
touchdowns at all.
He has 4. He had 4 straight weeks with a touchdown.
Yeah.
You mean
the
last
last 2
week?
weeks? The last 2 weeks, he's not scored a touchdown against awful pass. Again, my point on this argument
Dude, their whole offense has been terrible. It's not just him. Like they play for 4 minutes a fucking game because they think they're good enough to just beat bad teams, and it's just not how you can play fucking football. Oh my fucking god!
We talked about it for too long, guys. We knew it was twisting off. That cap was just gonna burst, man.
Listen, man, Andy, it feels so much better when you let it out. I let it out with Matt Canada in my beef segment. Just let it out. This is a perfect place to let it out.
Andy's beef of the week. Let's go.
We might have to squeeze it in. Yeah, we have to squeeze it in.
Yeah, you can have it.
No, he doesn't want to talk about it.
Bottle that shit up.
But he's
gonna explode like
pushing it down.
Bottle.
He's gonna push it down and move on.
Woosah.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on then. We want to keep Andy somewhat sane the rest of the way. Let's go to everyone's favorite, unless Andy wants it. G Money's beef of the week.
Oh, God. All right. So I don't know if you guys are gonna like this one or not. And I'm not saying I'm sold yet, but a lot of people have that opinion that the conspiracy theorists are gonna like this, that the NFL has their script and shows their way to their favoritism with their teams. And I'm starting to feel a little bit of it lately. Chiefs and Chargers game. This game was 24-17 at half. Very entertaining first half. We all loved it. especially those of us who bet this game for both teams to score over 20 points. And the Chargers don't score a fucking point in the second half. Not a field goal, not a touchdown. Starts off with Justin Herbert throwing an interception, and then they have 3 3-and-outs in a row. I don't think they've had 3 3-and-outs in a row, probably past couple seasons. I really wish I had more time to go look at it, but I had a busy day, didn't get to check that out. But it's fucking awful in the second half. Then you got the Eagles-Dolphins game. Eagles-Dolphins, who isn't tired of watching the stupid brotherly shove? This was never a legal thing till a couple of years ago. Became a thing. Now we got a team that can't be stopped with it. Some call it the tush push. We saw the most blatant face mask penalty that wasn't called. You didn't call it pass interference. You didn't call it a face mask. The guy had his neck turned and ripped off. Tua forgot how to play football in the second half. This offensive line that has been one of the better offensive lines this year with their running game and pass protection let Tua down. So it looked awful. Terrell Edmonds, who is a terrible safety, and they should have been taken advantage of all game long. The Eagles traded him today. He's so fucking bad. They didn't throw the ball downfield deep on him at all. Take a chance. Throw it downfield. And we got the Lions. The Lions, everybody started talking about Super Bowl contender with the Lions. NFL didn't like that. They put it right back in check, and they got blown out by the Ravens because nobody wants to see the Lions win a fucking Super Bowl. They're losers. And the Giants. Giants, everybody wrote off. No one cared about them, but nobody wants to see a New York team nobody talk about. So then they had them play a close game against the Bills with calls here, calls there. Then they beat the Commanders yesterday after they looked like the laughingstock of the league. But everybody who liked Wan'Dale Robinson and put him in his lineups did shit, one catch. So I'm starting to believe a little bit in the conspiracy theory people on the NFL and the scripts because everything that seemed so easy yesterday didn't happen, and the scripts came to fruition.
That whole segment was brought to you by a man that lost a lot of bets recently.
I'm done. I'm done.
I like it, Joe. That was Joe's beef of the week. It's funny because our boy Matt, who's a hardcore Chiefs fan, was always a huge conspiracy theorist when it comes to the NFL. It's funny, this year he hasn't been telling me anything about any conspiracies going on, and I'm kind of wondering why, you know? Could be that the refs are wearing Chiefs jerseys. I don't know.
The real conspiracy is the whole T Swift thing is a ploy for the NFL to get more money.
I was gonna say something in there, but I was like, I don't want to get called out on bringing that up, and then you. No, so thank you for taking it.
It's a big ploy to get money, get more fans watching. That's all it is.
Also, why is a 34-year-old big tight end always open by like 10 yards all around him?
It makes no sense.
No, but they don't. No team plays defense on him. No, they don't double him. They don't do anything.
They don't. I don't know. Andy, you got anything to say about the conspiracies? You're not feeling
it? Yeah, sure, guys. whatever helps you sleep, I guess.
I'm a pretty normal guy, man.
I didn't even bring it up, huh, Mike? So Mike lost a bet.
No.
Lost a bet last week. He said that Michael Pittman was going to have at least 8 to 10 receptions. He was very confident about it.
I wasn't. Go back and watch it. I said I think he's gonna have 8 to 10, but the confidence level, you guys are making that up.
No, you got caught up in it for sure. Joe kind of baited you a little bit, and you kind of took the bait, and it rolled out of control. But he ended up having 2 catches, and one of them luckily went for like 75 yards and a touchdown. So he ended up being a decent start for people. But
yeah, definitely not a sit of the week. That's for sure.
I don't know anyone who would say that, but but Mike, so Mike's Joe Dirt. Mike's Joe Dirt or Tiger King or one of those things.
Yeah, it's really hot under this wig. Like I normally sweat a lot, and this is my whole back of my neck is on fire.
I bet. Got a lot of hair coming down.
Nice.
All right, let's get into our buy low, sell highs. Mike, who's your buy low this week?
My buy low is Hollywood Brown. He's had back-to-back stinkers on this offense. But, I mean, most people know Kyler's coming back, so it's the time to do it, right? They already have the chemistry together. But I wouldn't do this if you're somebody that needs a win right away. This is more go to the team that's, 1-5, 1-6, 2-5, whatever the records are, that just can't afford to lose right now. And they'll sell them to you pretty cheap. So that way you can have them come playoff season, because he has a great playoff schedule. And by that time, Kyler will be back and they'll have their chemistry going again. So I think he's a guy that can sit on your bench for a little bit and then come out and maybe win you some weeks when it matters. What's that for? Go ahead, Joe.
Is Kyler coming back? I mean, if this team doesn't have wins by week 10, why play him? Why risk him getting hurt this year when you're not going to do anything?
I mean, he's been activated off the 20-day window, window. So they have to bring him back, right? Within 21 days, or else he's out for the year.
Correct.
I think so.
The soonest I think he can come back is week 10.
No, the soonest he can come back is right now.
May not be reinstated from the PUP list until Cardinals week 10 game against the Falcons. I'm looking at it right in front of me.
Well, they activated them. Am I wrong on this?
It says takes first team reps this week. I'm literally reading it on Yahoo Fantasy. Murray knee may not be reinstated from the PUP list until Cardinals week 10 game against the Falcons.
May not.
He may not.
I think you're reading it.
Yeah.
It's like a possibility that he could not. But that's like the deadline. Once you get activated, you have 21 days to play. And then if you're not activated, you're out for the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
I think he'll come back, but yeah, you're right, Joe. They don't have anything to play for. What do they have? 1 win right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if they're that bad, right, and you want to go ahead and pick Caleb Williams, you want to show that he still got it, right? If you want to trade him for something. So there's a reason right there.
Yeah, but you risk him getting hurt, and then you get nothing for him if he gets hurt again.
True. Yeah. I mean, I think he'll be back, but again, it's a buy low, so don't go crazy and spend a lot on it.
No, it's a thinking outside the box buy low. I like it, actually. Andy, who's your buy low?
I'm actually staying with the Cardinals. Look at this.
My God,
We're getting some Cardinals talking, boys. My buy low is James Conner. And once again, if you're in a buy low situation, you're probably not you're probably a good team, right? No one's out there just buying low when you're scraping for wins. So if you need some running back help, and you can go a week or two patiently, I would go get James Conner. Their offense stinks. Murray, we don't know if he's coming back. If he does, good. If he doesn't, just as good as a James Conner. I'm not a Hollywood Brown guy, never have been. So actually, in this situation, I mocked up. I would actually trade Hollywood Brown for him. So that would be
Cardinal for Cardinal.
You must need to make it.
There you go. All right.
So if you are if you're a running back needy kind of top tier team, and you need to buy low on a running back right now, I would go Hollywood Brown or Jerry Jeudy would be my trade fours, and then a running back that you could go get him with would be maybe Najee Harris or Dameon Pierce, something along those lines. Because once again, he is still out 2 weeks, but when he comes back, you're getting yourself a legit RB2.
Yeah, he's kind of proven already that no matter how bad that offense is, he still is productive. So, and no guy has really taken the role since he's been gone. So, all right, Joe, buy low.
Well, Andy's getting rid of mine and Rossi's buy low for his guy, because my buy low is Jerry Jeudy. I haven't been big on Jerry Jeudy all season, but I think owners are getting frustrated with him right now, and I really think Jerry Jeudy, with all these rumors, is gonna get traded, and almost anywhere he's getting traded to is probably gonna have a better offense than this offense, because I'm thinking it's gonna be a team that's gonna want to make a playoff push trying to go after him. Which means they probably got a much better quarterback than what Russell Wilson's doing this year. And offense is probably going to be a little bit more in sync and need help in that category. So then when he gets there, he should be getting more targets than he's seeing right now. As Cortland Sutton seems to be the guy that Wilson's going to the most, and that this is offense is scheming around right now.
Seems that way. Where do you think he's gonna go? Any predictions or anybody here?
I don't
teams?
know what kind of contract situation they have that they can make it work, but as the Chiefs, I know they just traded for Harmon.
They're not
but
gonna go
No,
in conference.
And I also just
in
don't know
division.
how many wide receivers there that are iffy do you want on that team right now?
But see, I disagree. I think Sean Payton would sell him to any team. Sean Payton doesn't give a shit who he sells people to.
Maybe.
I mean, we talked about the Chargers. They want to be a contender, which I think might be over. Maybe that's a spot. Who else do we have really? I mean, there's no.
I'm trying to look it
team
up right
that's
now.
in contention. That's
What about
dying for-
what about your boys, Andy?
Bills.
Yeah.
I think Judy might still be on his rookie, right? Or did he get an extension?
He's on his
Just
rookie
think he's
still.
5.
Yeah.
No,
So I don't know if they can even afford him, bro. They're pretty tight. They'd have to give something up, and they have so much of their cap out on IR right now that I don't think they're gonna make anything happen.
Yeah,
And they
the
love
teams
Gabe
that
Davis,
you're looking at that are like the playoff bubble type of teams, like the Texans, I guess, right? But they're not. I mean, they could buy a wide receiver, but is that a huge upgrade? I don't know. Maybe.
Oh God, I mean, think about what CJ
I don't
Stroud's
know.
been doing.
I know, but there's already Nico, and he's already established there. So is he really going to become the wide receiver 1 on that team? I don't think so. I think he'll be in the same position he's in now.
The Colts
Yeah.
could be an interesting one, right? They got some money. They got some
Gardner
talent.
for the year.
I mean, I don't know if they're gonna play for this year, but if they get them and they get Pittman, Judy, and Downs along with JT,
That's some
for
talent.
AR to come back.
Cowboys.
I mean, they were one of the teams that was being talked about
Cowboys.
with it. So
Is it the Colts? Colts are up there.
Colts were one of the teams that were in discussions with them when they first announced it.
Okay. All right, my
Yeah, I
buy
like
low. We've already talked about him a lot too, but it's Austin Eckler. He's had a rough start to the year. He was injured for 3 or 4 weeks to start after week 1. But again, we were talking about it. I look for him to have a bounce back week this week against the Bears. Right, the Bears, they're ranked 28th against running backs right now for points given up against them, and he's also had a bye week. So again, I think once he's fully healthy, because he doesn't look healthy yet, I think we can all agree on that, and he's not getting as many carries or touches that he usually gets, he'll be the same guy again, and they're going to need him. Herbert's definitely going to need to start leaning on him a little bit more. So I like Eckler as a buy low right now for a team that's struggling. Go try to take advantage of that. Maybe a James Cooks and a Josh Downs will get it. Maybe a DJ Moore and a Gus Edwards, something like that.
Yeah, I think that's a good buy low target. He's the tough part of their schedule defensively is out of the way, and they already got their buyout.
That's
So,
what I like. Yep.
It's a climb. It's all uphill for him or downhill. How does that saying work? It's better for him going forward, is what I'm trying to say here.
Clear skies ahead.
There we go.
All right, Mike, who's your sell high?
Ryan Robinson? Does that
Question mark?
count? I don't know. I mean, it's not really a sell high, but it's a sell better than what he's been doing. Like he got lucky and scored a touchdown for 2 weeks in a row now, but he's losing the carries. And Joe, you said it before we came on. What is he averaging this year? 3.2? Is that what you said? A carry?
No, that was White.
We were
That
talking
was
about
Rashad.
Rashad White.
talking about
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Brian Robinson. But anyway, he hasn't looked good lately. And Antonio Gibson's getting some more carries. And I don't even know who Rodriguez is, but he took 7 carries away from him last week. And he was 8 for 23, and it just happened to fall in the end zone. So I'm not trusting him as my RB2 or even a flex play. So I try to package him with a flex wide receiver and go get those middle of the road running backs like a Rashad White, Isaiah Pacheco, or if somebody still doesn't believe in James Cook, try to package something to get an upgrade at running back, because that's what you need come playoff times. You need stud running backs. Not that they're studs, but they're better than Brian Robinson.
I was going to say, I want to make it clear. I do think Cook is going to be a decent fantasy option the rest of the way. I just like Eckler much more, obviously, his potential.
Of course.
James Cook actually had a game where I enjoyed watching him run. I just want to throw that out there. That was my one highlight of the Bills
Of
offense.
the game.
I enjoyed him. He finished runs for the first time in his NFL career, and that made me happy.
Even when he talks about that game in a positive way, he still gets red.
Yeah. Yeah.
My blood is boiling.
All right. Who's your sell high, Andy?
That's a good question. My sell high is Adam Thielen. I
Thielen,
apologize.
you meant.
My apologies, Doug. He's player 17 on the year in PPR league. That's what I looked at. And that's great, but I think this is as good as it gets for him. You already ate his bye. He's as high as he's going to get. You have all the leverage to sell him right now and move on. He's a good receiver. He's always been a good receiver, but he's old on a bad offense, on a bad team. And I just don't see his season getting any better than this. So I'm shipping him if I can. And once again, if you need a wide receiver, you go after some of those struggling wide receivers. We talk about those second wide receivers on good offenses, right? The T. Higgins, the Jalen Waddles, the fucking Devonta Smiths, right? You can go get them if you will like them. I think Chris Olave is a pretty good option here. He's kind of struggling, and I think we all believe in his upside.
Yeah.
So I think that's a solid option, and then maybe package him with another player and go after CeeDee Lamb, something along those lines. I think those are viable. If you got a running back problem, James Cook's talked about. Aaron Jones, who's coming back from injury, so I think his price would be cheap. And then once again, maybe like another little package. You might be able to get yourself Derrick Henry. So something along those lines would be great. Or obviously any tight end. If you have no tight end, go upgrade your tight end. Those seem like good options.
Andy, good luck. I hope you look better than I do when I said trade him like 3 weeks ago. And
I remember somebody said this already.
Huge games after that. So I look like a fucking moron, but God bless you.
Guess what he is? Points per game, not overall points, because obviously he had a bye week. Some people haven't, but points per game for wide receiver and half PPR.
5?
6.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who guessed?
Crazy.
Yeah, wide receiver 6. It's nuts.
Yeah.
It
He's
is.
not finishing the season as a wide receiver 1, right? Like we're all on board with that, right? Like it's not
all right, he's wide receiver 6 through 7 weeks.
Right.
Andy, buy or sell him finishing the season as a wide receiver 1, so top 12.
Yeah, no, I'm selling that. I just said that. Yeah,
well, no,
moving on.
I mean, he can still go down, but he could end the season, wide receiver 10, 11. It means he had a bad second half or a worse second half, so it'd still be a good sell high.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just think there's too much talent out there at the wide receiver position, and offenses. Like there's times where I think the Panthers might just get completely locked up. So
well, I think some of those receivers that are a little bit behind him that are on these playoff teams have to start making a push towards the end of the season too. I think you got to see them step it up.
Right, and if you're the Panthers and he's old and he's injury prone, right? If he gets like some kind of tweak, you're shutting him down. Right? Like, he's got everything stacked against him for him not to finish. All right, a wide receiver 1, which means now that I said that, he will. But
I was just gonna say that because I agree with that if he stays on the Panthers. But shouldn't he be like a real life trade target for teams because he's still being productive?
I think he's just got too much money and too much on that contract that he just got.
What did he sign? 3 for 34? Something like that.
I think it was a 3-year deal. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I didn't realize it was that much. All right, Joe, who's your sell high?
Sell high is Josh Downs. Downs is coming off 2 touchdowns in his last 2 games. The game before that, he had 6 catches for 97 yards. Obviously, this week, 125 with that touchdown. His targets have gone up. He's seeing a lot of targets, so I think this is the time to sell him. I like Michael Pittman. I think Michael Pittman's a strong talent, and I think with Josh Downs having these big games recently, that hopefully it gets more coverage his way, and things will open up for Pittman. And then, if trade talks happen and this team thinks they can make a playoff push for a wild card spot or the division, because this division is wide open, then that wide receiver is going to take snaps away from him too. So I think this is your best opportunity to get the most for Josh Downs. And, even Doug just talked about packaging a guy like him with a running back and trying to go after a guy like Eckler, which I love that type of idea if you have the tools to do it.
Yeah, even I did that. Even I said that.
Adam Thielen was 3 for 25 for the record, so I was a little high, but still money for Thielen.
Yeah, a little lower than I thought it was still.
Yeah,
that's still might be tough depending upon those two.
All right, my sell high was Deontay Foreman. It's kind of obvious. I mean, he just had a week with 3 touchdowns. He's never going to do that ever again. I kind of said the same thing with David Montgomery, and it actually, I think it would have worked out for anyone to sell him when I said it. But yeah, and then so Roshan, I think, is coming back this week. Khalil's going to come back in a couple weeks. This is just going to be a super crowded backfield, and it's nothing I want anything to do with. So if you can sell him now at his highest point that he's going to be, do it, and try to get a guy like a Calvin Ridley who hasn't done anything yet and maybe has that a little more upside. I don't know if you can get him for that, but maybe with a running back needy. And, I don't think many people are too high on Ridley right now. But also, try to sell him to the guy who owns Khalil Herbert or the guy who owns Roshan. See if they're in a desperate way, and you can get something out of that. So that's where I'm at with Deontay Foreman. I don't know. Do you guys think this is do you think he's going to be the guy now, or do you think this is just kind of one big game with a backup quarterback and it was just kind of a random fluky thing?
Random fluky.
Yeah.
I think he earned some play time though, but not a starting role.
I don't think there is like a definitive starter on that team, right? It was Khalil, then it was Roshan, then it's Khalil, and then they both get banged up, and now it's Foreman, and he looks good.
Unfortunately, probably not. I am that owner of Roshan and Khalil in my league. Khalil looked great that game he got hurt. He had like 75 yards rushing, and then Justin Fields threw a pass that was like 5-10 yards behind him, and he had to come back to it and broke something. He just busted his ankle or whatever, coming back to get it, and it sucked. I thought that was his breakout game. I thought Khalil was going to have that job the rest of the way.
Yeah, I like your idea though of trying to, if the owner of a Khalil Herbert has that need to go try to make something happen and steal a wide receiver or something from him. Yeah,
Craw, don't come at me though. Craw has Deontay in our league, and I'm not selling.
He's going to.
That's fine. He can try. All right, let's go to our waivers. Mike, who's your big waiver pickups of the week right now? Like who's the number one guy you're targeting?
The number one guy it depends. I think as of right now, there wasn't any major injuries, right? So I would say if Josh Downs is still available, then he has to be up there in the wide receiver position. For running backs, is it Devin Singletary? Is he like the number one waiver pickup right now? Because he's taken a lot of carries and he looked better than Damian.
I think he's owned in more than 50% of leagues still for whatever reason.
No, Singletary?
Is he?
No, he was 15% on Yahoo.
Oh my God. Yeah, okay.
He's 15.
I didn't see him at all in Fantasy Pros. All right.
So I would say he's got to be up there for me, but there's not anybody that I'm like crazy going spending all my fab on this week, unless, because we're doing this on Monday, if CMC tweaks something tonight and either Jordan Mason or Elijah Mitchell get the workload, that's the guy I'd spend all my money on.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think everyone already did that, and then all of a sudden CMC's like, no, I'm playing.
I'm looking at the numbers, and Jordan Mason's 40% owned and Elijah Mitchell's 38% owned. So there's still room for that to happen. If he tweaks something tonight, that's the only guy that I'm going all in on. Other than that, it's bye weeks, injuries, it's flex plays, it's handcuff season, it's stuff like that that I'm really spending a little bit of money on.
We're not really in like waiver season as much. We're in like stream season, right? You're filling your bye weeks, you're filling your injuries. It's not the guys that you're gonna blow big money on. They've come and gone basically. Like you're gonna get one or two maybe, but that's why we say spend your fab early.
Spend it early.
What if
Joe?
Miles Sanders is deemed out another week though? Is Chuba's? I know he's 58%, so a lot of leagues have him, but he's out there for some listeners. So is that a guy that you're spending low? You're spending it, right?
Yeah, I think so, because I don't even think Miles Sanders might not even be the number one starter anymore there.
Yeah.
Stinks.
Maybe just because of that groin injury.
That fucking stinks.
Joe says he stinks though. So
awful.
How about you guys, Joe? Andy, you guys?
I mean, like Andy said, if you're streaming things, I mean, we saw Taysom Hill get more reps in offense and actually get some game plan and performed with it. I also don't hate Valdez-Scantling after what he did yesterday. We actually saw them throw the ball downfield to him again. I don't know why they haven't done it more, because obviously Tony and fucking Sky Moore stink. But I think he's going to get more attention from Mahomes, and I think that would be a good option for the next couple of weeks.
Andy, who's your number one target this week? You got a number one? Sounds like you don't
no
love
money.
It, so.
I have no money anywhere. But yeah, no. Once again, it's all just matchup related and what you need from me. I don't really.
Let me throw some names out there for you guys, and then you can all just blurt out what you'd be spending, if you had money. So, how about Darrell Henderson?
How much money do I have?
What is he roster? What's the percentage on him? Because I didn't see him.
16%.
Yeah. He's out.
Okay. I'm spending more on Royce, I think.
Okay, I would agree with that. That's kind of why I threw that out there, because Royce had the better. He actually looked better. Just Henderson got the touchdown, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right. I think out of the two, I'd spend, I don't know, 15 on Royce and maybe like 10 on Henderson. It is. I mean, did Kyron just go on the IR, right?
Yeah, but I think this. Yeah. You got 3 more weeks.
3 more weeks of them out. So that's a.
And Royce Freeman's 20% owned, by the way. So they're both out there. Darrell Henderson knows the offense, but again, I thought Royce looked better. So
that's what I was gonna say. I think McVay's got more trust in Henderson, so he'll definitely get the ball in that goal line situation, and he knows the offense more. I think Freeman's more explosive. Don't get me wrong, but
I don't know if that's the word we can use for these guys, but yeah.
I said more than Henderson. I didn't say he's the game.
I mean, if there's one thing Henderson's not, it's explosive.
We'll say,
compared to Henderson,
less explosive than the other one.
Yeah. Sorry, we'll go that way. Henderson's less explosive.
How about DeMarcado? We talked about it a little bit already. You know, you're buying low on James Conner, Andy, but he's going to be out another 2 games. So if you're running back needy with bye weeks, DeMarcado, he probably was dropped because he's only 16% owned right now. So there's probably a lot of guys like that Mike who spent $34 to get him and then dropped him a week later.
That's why I wear things like this.
I think they're all in the same boat. Henderson, DeMarcado, Royce Freeman. I think they're all pretty much in the same price range. It just depends on how much you got left.
Yeah, I think
spend $12. Nice.
No, I think personally I like DeMarcado more because it was his backfield this week, right? I mean, I know he's on a worse offense, but it was his backfield. Ingram didn't even touch the ball.
Mm-mm.
So I'm looking right now. Yeah, Elijah Mitchell, they got 34% on Fantasy Pros owned. So yeah, I'm surprised about that, especially with all every CMC owner out there. If you have at least 6 bench spots, you should have him on your bench. You know, I know you do, Mike.
I know DeMarcado. I think going back to where you said you'd rather have him over Henderson and Freeman. I think as far as like volume and what they mean to a fantasy team, it's like the same, but Rams have a better offense. Like he's just gonna have more. He's gonna have less red zone opportunities than the other 2 guys. And what the Cardinals, even when they get in the red zone, Dobbs can just run it in for a touchdown. So I don't know. I don't want a rental on a bad offense that's not going to get the red zone. I'd rather take the other guys on the Rams with Puka and Kupp and can get them down there a little bit more.
Yeah. So let me make that a little more clear. DeMarcado, I think he's the guarantee to get the snaps right now, right? He's the guarantee to get them all. If I know going into it that either Darrell Henderson or Royce has that role, absolutely I want one of those guys more because it's a better offense.
Yeah. If they're they're not splitting. I get what you're saying.
But it's the unknown. You don't know with that. So all right, yeah. I mean, what about Pierre Strong? Anybody in on him at all with no, seriously, you got some carries with Jerome Ford out. Jerome, I mean, he was in a walking boot after the game, so
yeah.
I don't know. What did he have? I don't know much about this one, Doug. So what did he get for carries?
Spin back.
He got carries. I don't know exactly what he got.
That's luck.
Go ahead and look that up. How about Zeke?
We're so good at this.
We're awesome. How about Zeke still being
awesome.
just 43% owned? That's kind of
because
surprising.
he stinks. Because he stinks.
But he's been getting touchdowns. Now he's been getting touchdowns.
Well, everybody but Mike, we knew this.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
knew he was going to get a couple touchdowns. Yeah, Pierre
Hey,
Strong had
couple's
8
not what
rushes,
you guys said.
Yeah,
8 rushes for 25 yards. Wait, who
So-
wasn't?
That's
Mike?
not who said. What are you talking about?
What?
What did you just say?
You said we knew that he was going to get a couple touchdowns, and I said that's not what you guys said.
We said
So
more
he
than
said a
5.
couple.
We said
Yeah.
5. We all said
Yeah.
more than 5.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
got 2
So
right
they've
now.
only played
Not
7
halfway through.
games.
Exactly.
Ah,
He's
God,
right
here
on
he goes.
pace. Right on pace. Yeah, Singletary just 20% owned, so that's yeah. All right. I mean, again, they're just fill-ins right now. That's all they are.
Hmm.
Mike, how about wide receivers? You got anyone that you're looking for in wide receivers?
Josh Downs is
It's just Josh Downs.
He's just not just Josh Downs, but he's the main wide receiver that is in. He's 36% owned, so he's probably out there. I think he's a legit just flex play week to week. Some other names I wrote down. Tank Dell was dropped in a lot of leagues.
Yeah, he's 49%, so he just meets it. Just meets that criteria.
Yeah, a lot of people there was 6 teams on a bye, and with injuries, people were dropped. Because I mean, Kendrick Bourne, that's your dude right there, Doug. He's only 26% owned. And then lastly, it's a guy that he's 58%. So again, not owned. I mean, not available in most leagues. But if Rashee Rice is available, he's making a name for himself, and I think he has to be the number 1 guy, just because of the offense he plays on too.
Every week, you guys amaze me with these percentages because I don't look at them because I don't give a shit if other people own guys or not. But like the fact that Josh Downs is only 36% owned is insane. Like, if you're a bad team out there, you need to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, why the fuck don't I have a guy like this? Like, who's on your team?
If you look it up tomorrow after that game he had yesterday, it's going to go from like 36 to like
It'll be
65 or
70.
70.
Yeah,
And
but like
Joe,
2 weeks ago, he had that 90-yard receiving game. The next game, he still had a touchdown. Like, I mean, I don't. What are these people doing?
A lot of people don't pay attention.
Yeah, if everyone knew what they're doing, we wouldn't have a show, Joe. No one would listen to us.
I mean, some of these though, I don't know. I guess.
Kendrick Bourne, though, like you said, I like him a lot because he's getting a ton of targets right now.
Yeah.
Juju's coming back next week. I don't think it matters.
Doesn't mean anything.
No.
Bourne looks like Mac has faith in Bourne, and he's definitely going to keep getting targets.
So
Was that one of the dumbest signings of the Patriots?
they've had a
letting
lot of dumb signings.
Kobe Myers go for 3 years,
Oh, yeah.
33 million,
There's
and then
to do the
signing
same-
Juju for the same thing.
Why not bring in a guy who's done well in your offense, been reliable catching the ball, and knows the offense? Like, if you're
It
spending
makes
the
no
same
sense.
money,
Also not
Stupid.
injury prone, you know?
Yeah.
I
Not
don't
a-
get it either.
And Juju's reputation of being
A character
like,
guy too, exactly. Like
yeah,
Jacoby's a character
Bill
guy.
normally doesn't want
Oh,
that. It's weird.
Bill. Oh, that's even. But that's
Well, actually, he
bullshit.
does. He does
always
sign
brings
people
in
like that.
fucking bad character guys and
That's
tries
true.
to change them and blah blah blah. So don't give me that
That's true.
shit.
I don't know if he's
That
done
is
that a
true.
lot lately, but like you're going back to like Corey Dillon. and
Probably
shit
why
like
they're
that.
losing because they need to bring in some more guys who are better players and just bad characters.
The Chiefs take them all, man. Nobody else can get them. All right. Let me talk about one more guy. Let me be a homer one more time here. Demario Douglas. Anybody have any? I mean, this no. Okay.
No, not let Mac Jones still a quarterback.
Okay.
The Mario Douglas, to me, I mean, if you pick him up, like Doug, even you, if you
Mhm.
picked him up right now, do you see yourself ever starting him?
No, it's a deep league. I mean, I don't know if he's
Yeah.
owned in our 16-team league, but he probably should be.
In the
In that type of situation, yeah.
That situation, I could understand picking him up, take a flyer on him. Yeah, I agree with that.
It's deep
I
leagues.
just naturally went like this. I've never been so
Little
ashamed
flip.
of myself. I
Little
just went
flip
like
of
this. I didn't even mean it. It wasn't even a joke.
All right. Okay.
Shit.
Let's talk tight ends. Jake Ferguson, he's only 46% right now. They're coming off a bye, right? So
Yeah, but he had 2 bad weeks before the bye. He's another one of those guys that's just not reliable. Just the tight end landscape.
Dalton
Gerald Everett.
Kincaid.
I like
Dalton
Kincaid.
Kincaid, 37%.
He's got to be the number
that's
one,
the one.
tight end. He might even be the number one on the week.
He might be the
Knox
best tight end in
getting
the
hurt.
league, Andy. No,
Might be.
I'm just kidding. No,
No, but honestly, I kind of agree. In a position that is so boom or bust, now with Dawson Knox out, I think Kincaid might be one of the top waiver priorities of this week.
he should be number one this week for tight ends because I didn't know about the Dawson Knox thing.
I'm not saying tight ends
unless
in general.
in general.
Yeah.
Kittle has a
Maybe.
good game tonight. I'm playing Kincaid next week over him.
Yeah, he had 8 targets, 8 catches, right? Is that what it was? So, we all liked his talent coming in. So with Knox gone, I guess for at least a few weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, it sounds like a couple.
No, I love.
I don't know if you heard me. I did say Gerald Everett when you were saying Kincaid because he's had touchdowns the last 2 weeks, so he's starting to get more red zone targets.
What's his percentage?
25. I just looked it up.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yep, I got him at that. And then you know what's surprising though? Like, so I don't think he's gonna be, but is Dalton Kincaid this week's Michael Mayer from last week? You know, because I think Michael Mayer had a very similar game. And then now he's only owned in 19% of leagues. So everyone just dropped his ass.
Yeah, but that whole offense, they only put up 6 points. That whole offense shit the bed this week. Jacobs didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Adams only had 60 yards. That offense did nothing.
So here's the other question. Back-to-back weeks against the Patriots defense. Do you want to play the tight end that's playing the Patriots defense now, you know? Where both those rookies came out. So maybe look into that a little bit. All right. Andy, it's your time, man.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, you got more?
One more.
Go ahead.
I'm surprised you didn't mention Taysom Hill.
We brought him up earlier, but yeah.
Yeah.
I think Joe said something about him.
Oh, did he? I usually don't listen to Joe, but
He's
9% owned. Didn't he have like 7 catches or something? He was actually playing wide receiver for a lot of that game.
I think he had 4 for something and a touchdown.
He did great
Oh,
for
I
me
thought he
in
had
the
more.
16-team league. I think he got me like 16 points or something like that. Almost 17. So, yeah, I think he's a sneaky pickup.
He had 4 for 50 receiving. He had 18 yards rushing and a touchdown.
Okay.
Because obviously the other thing with Taysom Hill, you never know if they're going to get weird and gimmicky near the goal line and he throws a touchdown pass or something, you know?
Yeah. Or
rushes one in because he's got that ability as well. And when he runs the ball, man, he looks like the hardest runner in the league sometimes.
He
Runs people over.
Bulldoze.
Yep. All right, Andy.
All right.
Now it's your Mike, are we allowed to go on? Or? Good. All right. Andy, QB stream of the week.
QB streams. First up, Baker Mayfield is at Buffalo, 33% owned. The Bills defense is just been decimated by injuries, bro. And Mac Jones just threw for 250. Hey, start quarterbacks against this team right now while they're fucking hurt.
270.
Joe, I'm Mike, I'm Doug. Whatever the fuck your name is, I'm talking. All right.
Fuck you're down.
Yeah. We're like all his kids. He's like, I can't remember your name. One of you guys.
Whoever it is. Oh, Derek Carr's got Indy. He's at Indy, 35% owned. I like that. Once again, Indy defense, okay, not great. And then up to 4%, boys. Tyson Badgett is owned in 4% of leagues. And he's playing the Chargers, who fucking stink on defense. Go get him.
Sign me up.
I like it.
Oh, man.
All right.
we're gonna start a QB controversy in Chicago. I'm telling you right now, it's coming from
He's
here.
willing it. You are willing it as hard as you can. And I love
I've been
it.
pushing this for like 8 weeks.
All 75 viewers are going to protest to get Badgett as a starter.
We got 16 people on a petition here.
Hey man, he
That's
looked
about
pretty
as
good.
many people as it stands right now, too. So we might actually win this.
Rossi, when you make the short, send it to Chicago. Send it to Sports Center. Get it everywhere.
You got it.
All right, Andy's stream of the week. So next week it's the night before Halloween. Do we have any bets that we want to make that happen throughout this episode here?
Yeah, let's
go ahead.
I have an idea, Doug.
Yeah.
Let's make your rapid fire for Thursday's episode. The 10 questions. Whoever does the best gets the pick. Or the other 3 have to dress up or whatever. Something like that for the rapid fire.
We could do that. We could go back and look at that.
Are we gonna do a different night then? So Andy's in. Or?
We're doing Wednesday
that's
night. I
right.
think we're doing Wednesday night. I think we are. We're
Are
doing
we?
Wednesday
Okay.
night. I'm down. With
I'm
Wednesday.
in.
Works for me.
All right. All right. Yeah, that's a good idea then. All right, we'll do that then, Mike.
What's the quarterback bet situation with Love now?
I mean, he's 10. He's
But
QB
he's
10.
12. He's only 10 in Doug's league. We didn't say Doug's league.
That's what we make all of our bets off of is Doug's league.
Since when?
Since every
See,
single
Andy's
bet
face,
we've
that's
ever
so
made.
Bullshit. You know you're just saying that because he's 10 in Doug's
What?
league.
What are you
You're
talking
wearing a
about,
Steelers jersey
Joe?
for Wednesday. I'm dropping it off. He's 12 already.
We'll see how they do tonight, and then
No,
we'll
he's 12
discuss
already.
afterwards.
He's 12 already, and you know it. That's why your face is like that.
What are you talking about?
Did we spin a wheel on this one yet? You
On
you
what
guys
one?
are doing the. I'm sorry, you're
The
doing the
jersey,
Yeah.
yeah. He's got to wear a Steelers jersey for Wednesday night. I'll drop it off tomorrow.
If Kirk Cousins or Brock Purdy beat what Jordan Love did,
He's 12 already.
That could happen though. That very well could happen.
probably. Yeah, it could. It could.
I hope so because I got Purdy going in a league. All right, and I want nothing from CMC tonight.
I need
Good luck.
everything from him.
Yeah. All right, boys, let's go watch it. So for Mike, Andy, G Money, I'm Doug. We'll see you guys next time. Later.
Peace.
See you, boys.